Hello friends. So recently I went out with drinks with my girlfriends, and during the conversation they asked me if I was single, and I said yes, I'm still single. And the first thing that they asked me, or they told me, was, oh, it's okay, you'll find him soon, or it'll happen when you least expect it. And I went, oh. And I didn't get why it kind of made me sad until this train ride back home. And it hit me that single women aren't as worthy, they aren't valued, or there's something wrong with them to be still single compared to if they were dating someone. And it made me kind of weird out because I've never felt as confident, as happy in my own body, and as self-assured as a single woman in the mid-20s compared to when I was the most insecure, the most unhappy, the most, I guess, angry about my own body and self-image compared to when I was chasing someone, when I was dating someone, or even in a situationship. And I wish I had someone tell me things I'm going to tell you now, because it took me so much years of heartbreak, frustration, and just overall sadness to get to this point. And I know it's not just me, because I see so many beautiful girls on TikTok being sad over a guy, asking for the bare minimum, and just overall having a crappy time in the dating life. So I'm going to condense my video into some lessons that I've learned, and I guess how to navigate my early 20s. Also, I would pick and choose some of my most awkward and personal dating stories on this, so grab some popcorn, have some fun, and enjoy the ride. So the first one I have is very important, and it took me a long time to finally accept and realize it, and it is, if he wanted to, he will. And I used to make so many excuses for this one guy, because I would say to myself, oh, he's just too busy, or he's just too shy, or he just is too tired after work. But in reality, he just doesn't care the way that I cared about him. And the movie He's Just Not That Into You is a very good movie that kind of showcased this. I really recommend you to watch it if you haven't done so already. But back as a fresh 20-year-old, there was this one guy that I really liked, and we talked every day for 3 to 4 months, and I thought that he liked me back. So every day I would tell myself that he likes me, and I would wait for him to ask me on a date. And when I would ask him to on a date, he would just say he's too busy or he's just too tired. And I thought, it's okay, like eventually he will, right? I mean, it took me a long time to realize that he didn't care about me the way I cared about him. And if I had known to myself, if I finally admitted to myself that this guy doesn't care about me and he's not asking me out, then I would have just set some boundaries, and I wouldn't have cared and put so much energy onto waiting for my phone and waiting for a message back. So ladies, if he really cares about you, he will definitely ask you on a date, or he'll definitely do the things that you want him to do. And I would literally grab the bare minimum, for example a lemon slice, and try to squeeze every bit of it into lemonade, because I really wanted him to like me back so badly that I would accept the bare minimum and I will try to reciprocate as much as I can. And at the end, it just backfired on me because he didn't like me back, and I just wasted so much time and energy on this guy that didn't care about the way I cared about him. So number 2 is to put yourself first, and I really stand by this, because if you put yourself first, you have better boundaries, you have better self-worth, and you don't accept shitty behavior. And back in my early 20s, I was such a people pleaser that I would desperately put anyone's needs beyond my own if they would like me. And this also manifested with guys. So this really backfired on me, because there was this one guy who didn't treat me right, and my friends asked me why I was still with him because I used to rant about his behavior to them. But because I wanted him to like me back and I wanted him to stay with me, that I would accept really shitty behavior. And at one point he was on Tinder as he was dating me, and it got to the point where I cared so much about his own feelings more than mine that I blamed myself over the fact that he was on Tinder as he was dating me. And once we broke up, after a long overdue breakup, I started putting my own self first, because that was the only way for me to get over the breakup. and all of these good things that are happening in my life. Like, for example, I got my dream job back then. I was getting paid really well, and I was getting all these new people in my life, and I was losing weight like rapidly, and I didn't get why. Then it really hit me. The more you put yourself first, and the more you actually care about yourself, the more good things will happen to you, because finally you're putting your own needs first. On a lighter note, number 3 is to prioritize other things in your life. And I know, when you first date a guy and it just feels so magical, like you have all these little butterflies, you're going on dates and you're just constantly missing each other. But early 20s shouldn't be just over a guy. It should be other things, for example, the gym, uni, your job, or like just discovering yourself. Because looking back in my early 20s, the things that gave me the most fulfillment sometimes was my friendships, when I was investing in myself and just discovering who I was. Because some of my best memories wasn't with any guy, it was with my friends and with the things that made me happy and putting myself first. And I just think that when you're in early 20s, you have the world at your feet. You have so much time with your uni schedule, for example, and you just have so much time to do whatever you want. And that shouldn't be wasted on a guy that doesn't treat you right. And I'm saying this with desperation, because your early 20s is so important and so fun and fulfilling and just new and fresh. And in your mid 20s, you don't have that sort of excitement. Well, personally for me. And when you use that energy on a guy, girl, you're playing yourself, honestly. So in this scenario, I strongly applaud you to really take some time to find who you are, find yourself, and just have fun. Like, it shouldn't be about feeling sad because a guy's not texting you back. I mean, you can feel sad, you feel entitled to feel sad, but there are so many beautiful things in life that can also make you happy. And for example, for me, what made me happy are my cats, which give me a lot of joy, and my cheerleading, my extracurricular activities. For example, I was the executive member at FabSoc. I feel very proud of that. But those things give me so much joy thinking about that I'm so glad that all of my 20s or my early 20s wasn't to do with a guy. There were so many other things that I can think about in my life. And I guess when I was having that toxic guy, I didn't prioritize anything else but him. I put my life on hold. I dropped my friends, which sounds so silly because they didn't support my relationship. So I thought, okay, I'll just be with him. And once he broke up with me, I felt so lost because I had nothing to fall back on. This one might get a mixed response, but it is dating apps aren't real life. And I say this as someone who's been on dating apps since I was 20. And I have used Bumble, I have used CMB, I have used Tinder, I have used Hinge. And don't get me wrong, I think dating apps are great to find other people and it's also very time efficient. But dating apps are very transactional in nature, and it shouldn't be reflective upon dating in real life. Because when you reduce a person, a complex being, into a tiny little dating profile of a few select images, it doesn't represent them as a person. But because dating is just so fast-paced and just swiping and swiping and swiping, people treat other people as commodity. And I think with dating apps in general, it's hard to not get attached to it because you're on your phone so much, but people can ghost you so much easier compared to how they can ghost you in real life. And you don't feel as entitled to feel upset about it because of how fast-paced dating apps are and how easy it is to find other people to talk to. And the last and final segment to my series is that there are other guys out there for you. And I'm not saying to play the field or whatever you want, but I'm saying that when you're sad over a guy and you think he's the best you ever have, I highly doubt that'll be the case. Because do you really think that the guy that you meet in your 20s and someone that has hurt you, for example, is the only guy out there for you? Because it did not work out for a reason. back when I was 20, 21, and I was really sad over a guy. I really thought this guy was the best thing I'd ever have. And in retrospect, that sounds kind of vain, because did I really think that this one guy is better than every other guy that I will ever meet? Because I'm also so young and I had so much more growing up to do, and I realized looking back that him and I didn't suit at all. And I knew in the back of my mind that we didn't suit as people, but because I thought that nobody else can be better than him, because no one else was better than him that I was with before, that I wouldn't get anyone better. But eventually you grow, eventually you mature, and eventually you'll find better people out there for you that suits you. And would you rather be with someone that does the bare minimum or makes you sad, and you know full well that he's not going to treat you the way you're supposed to? Or would you rather just work on yourself and eventually find someone that does? And by the way, as you can probably see, my eyes get progressively red because of the lighting. So right now in Sydney is currently 9 p.m. Let me just focus that. It's 9 p.m. Oh my gosh, you can't even focus, it's too bright. And I've been filming for a few hours by now, and I have an artificial light because of how Sydney right now is in winter, and the sun goes down at 5 p.m. and since I have no way of getting natural light after work, I have to use a ring light, which is amazing for lighting, but it has taken such a strain on my eyes. Can you see my eye bags here? Like, they are heavy. Oh my gosh. But I love this ring light, so I can't complain, and it has done me good for the past few hours of filming. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end, and I'll see you later then. Bye.